So this is kind of a new thing that we're doing for me for the recomp journey. I have another Substack called Safe Passages that I've done, which is more of a video podcast, and that's my background. So I'm quite used to this, but not for
Yeah,
the recomp
nice.
journey. So I'm very
Okay.
excited to work with you. So can you kind of explain a little bit about yours and your Substack, and then I can share a little bit about mine, and then we can go into it.
Yeah, cool. So my my journey. So I started a very long time ago at uni with a master's in nutrition, and after that, uh, I was supposed to do a PhD, but that was not too much the route I really wanted to take. I went and did quality management and food safety. And then I worked in corporate and in the food industry, did a lot of food safety, and still had people along the way with their nutrition and their health. Uh, and then a year and a half ago, started exploring to work again, but work only on nutrition. And so I started looking into how I could do that. And I found that online was the way to go, and that I needed to create a Substack and be somewhere online. And I had not been online for over 10 years. Like I had no contact with social media at all, not watching the news. So yeah, that was a really big step for me, really outside my comfort zone. And there are so many amazing creators on Substack that the bar felt really high. So it was really intimidating at the start. So I started in March 2025, my Substack, which is called Wellness with Sophie, because I didn't want to just lock it into just detox, for instance, because there is so much more that we can do. And I guess also what I wanted to say is that I started toxicology over 10 years ago, really to specialize in that. I left it alone and then I finished it 3 years ago. So yeah, so that's why I'm here, and that's why I started a Substack. I really wanted to help people by doing that. And yeah, that's really rewarding. So I just want to lean into that and finally leave corporate.
Yeah. I was looking at your Substack and it's one of your pinned, which is it's very well titled. I never thought working in health would get me death threats. It sort of shares this background. And I was going to ask you about it. And I'm like, oh, well, she actually kind of got into it. But you guys should check it out because it shows a little bit more of how important it was to your own health and what was really damaging your own health. Going back into your first passion, it sounds like nutrition and things like that. Um, but welcome. Yeah. So for me, I started Substack in 2025 with Safe Passages. I wanted to start it with video podcasting and podcasting in general because I saw that it was growing, and I worked in digital media and documentaries, social media marketing, all that stuff. But podcasting's my favorite. And I wanted to kind of be checking out this new platform. And I had a theory that podcasting will grow in Substack, and it is. Um, and then I also have this health journey of my own where I do need to lose weight. And people have been responding towards my journey when I talk to them about it, and my take of that in this digital world, there goes from one extreme to another where it was in the 90s, the heroin chic look, or you had to look a certain way to be fitting certain sizes, or, you were a failure considered or ugly or whatever it was, the toxicity of it. Um, And then they're like, "But love your body and be what you are and, like, you whatever." And I'm like, "Sure, and just because you're size 2 doesn't mean you're not healthy, and just because you're size 20 doesn't mean you are unhealthy, right? But we have to still be healthy. It doesn't matter what we look like. It just matters to be healthy, right?" Um, and that was my thing. I was like because everyone else was like, "You don't need to lose weight." And I'm like, "Well, if every doctor I've gone to, nutritionist, personal trainer, if I'm huffing and puffing going up the stairs, I something's wrong. I need to lose weight for my health." And so I wanted to kind of put in more um, reliable information. And I also noticed that it's very vulnerable. I was hesitant, but I kind of decided to be a little bit more vulnerable and share. When I decided to go to a fitness retreat in Phuket, Thailand, on the infamous um, fitness street. And so I've been doing that, but I'm familiar with Substack and the community and collaborations through Safe Passages. So I was so open to doing it with the Recomp journey, which is what I started and where this is, which was originally my health journey, but I still wanted to work with people who wanted to bring in exactly this the correct information and mindset of how to be healthy and trying not to be obsessed with what society might think is the right body. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It's not at all about aesthetic. I mean, we can be a size 20 and be absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's not about that. And we can be very skinny and healthy as well. So
Yeah.
it's not about the aesthetic. It's really how
Yeah, and
we are in our body
we're
and
very
how healthy. Mm.
well, what I was gonna say is we're very global now because of the internet. I mean, you're from France and recording from Australia. I was living in Thailand earlier this year, and now I'm in the United States. Um, so but even online, I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I remember talking to my friend who's from Nigeria, and I was telling her my family's from Iran that when I started losing weight, my mother said, You might need to get a nose job because my nose is more pronounced because my cheeks are not so much." And just it's this mindset of like this culture where we always are nitpicking at our looks. And I was like, whatever. And my friend who's Nigerian said, that's so funny because a lot of Nigerians would get their nose job to look like your nose that it is now. I'm like, see, what if I moved to Nigeria and I had done a nose job and they're like, her nose is ugly? Like you can't please everyone.
No, you can't.
so,
You have to please
so I was
yourself.
like,
You
you know
have
what?
to be happy with yourself.
My nose works fine, and I'm not huffing and puffing going up the stairs. That's all I care about. So that's why I wanted to put it. If you want to get a nose job, that's fine. But what is the reasoning for it? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's
absolutely.
why I wanted to put it. So you and I got in touch through Substack, through some of the chats. And if we want to give it a shout out, I think it was the Lemon Tree Mindset chat. And we're discussing, like, different topics specifically, and your concentration, you kinda touched on it, is detox, right?
Yeah, that's one
Like
of my
eating clean?
specialties. It's a bit more than eating clean. Yeah, I guess I mean I can do anything about nutrition because it's nutrition in general, but I was really interested in like before 10 years ago I had no idea what detox was and toxicology. It's not something that I had done at uni. Um, it was more genetics and microbiology and etc. Physiology, but not toxicology as such. So I wanted to know more about it, and then um, I started, and then I found uh, a job when I was in Australia, and then so I dropped it. I left it aside for a while until I picked it up again a few years ago. because I felt like I really needed a detox. And I thought, oh, wait a second, I think I had started something. Maybe I can finish it. So I picked up the certification again and practiced on me, practiced on other people, and yeah, it made such a big difference for me. Reduced my allergies, reduced inflammation. I lost weight very quickly. The few kilos I had put on during the holidays. Yeah, and I have helped other people. Like one person who had cancer, another one, a young person who had a myocarditis, so to reduce his inflammation and lose a bit of weight while he couldn't exercise because of the myocarditis. Uh, yeah, and other people. So yeah, so that's why I thought, well, it's not something that we see very often, and there is so much bullshit. Sorry for the vocabulary, but yeah, there so much BS on the internet. Um, about detox, that's actually could be quite harmful. That I thought it would be good for me to actually share what I know and offer something that's safe to do, rather than a 7 day juice cleanse and then you starve for 7 days and things like that. And all the things that, like, sometimes to be honest, I don't even know what it is because it's not something that is backed by science. So there's always something new. Like, what is that? um,
So
so
the detox lifestyle, it's rather a new way, are you saying?
I don't think it's new. I think it's just never talked about. Because everything that we see online is based on selling you products, selling you a miracle powder or a miracle drop that will detox you. But at the end of the day, our body is already knows how to detox. The liver is our main organ for detoxing. It's not the only one. Intestines, the kidney or skin, but the most powerful one is the liver. And what we need to do is stop overloading it with crap, overloading it with toxins, and give it all the nutrients it needs to actually do its job efficiently. So what I do is only supporting what we already have and making sure that people also along the way build healthy habits in terms of their relationship with food, the lifestyle. It's very holistic. It's very nutritious. You are not gonna starve at all with me. You are actually, most people, like 98% of people, actually end up eating more than they normally do, but more of the right foods. And it has to be very varied because the body needs nutrients, multiple nutrients from and different molecules, antioxidants and phytochemicals uh, to help their body. And what I find is that what we see online is a lot of things are taken in isolation, and our body
Mm.
does not function in isolation. Like, everything has a synergy. So sometimes even, taking a pill for this or a pill for that. And look, sometimes obviously there is a need to, I guess, fill the gap when there is a heavy deficiency. But
Mm.
if there is not a heavy deficiency, then actually bringing nutrients and macronutrients via food is much better because you have a synergy already in the plants. You don't have just one molecule in the plant. And usually what happens is that those molecules, they work together and they highlight each other. They, what's the word? Um,
So like complement
they,
each other?
they complement each other and make each other work best.
Mm.
So if we just take something, one antocian or one antioxidant in a pill, it's not gonna work as well as if you had eaten the plant, because it has all these other synergetic molecules to help enhance its effects. So a lot of time
Yeah.
people are wasting a lot of money in supplements when really first we need to have a good foundation with nutrition and lifestyle. And then once that base is really established, then we can look at potential gaps and if it's possible to fill that gap with nutrition or if there is really a need for supplements. And then we target whatever is absolutely needed. So people don't spend like thousands on supplements for nothing.
Yeah, I can't remember if this is part of the article that you wrote, but one of them that I really liked, which was this nutrition myth that people often believe in, and you were saying you had a client and she was only eating 1,000 calories, and you're like, well, that's part of the problem. You're not getting enough nutrients. And then what you're eating also matters. And you can have, I remember at the end, you're like, you can have bread. Right. And so people, so that's one of my questions was like the common misconceptions of detox uh, diets, I guess.
Yeah, I guess the common misconception, and I would say rightly so, because everything that we see online, well, everything that I've seen online is really not backed by science. It's quite damaging. It's often, not always, but often based on restrictions, like starvation. You have to do fasting for a very long time, or you have to remove. Okay, sometimes to do elimination of a food group or two food groups, but it needs to be done. It needs to be guided by a professional. It needs to be done in a very short period of time, so to avoid nutrient deficiencies. Um, and during that period, you also need to make sure that you have other foods that try and complement, counterbalance that those potential deficiencies. So yeah, what I see, like even
Yeah.
about it, but there is actually not any scientific evidence that it detoxes anything. Um, and it can be potentially harmful as well for people. So I think people really need to be really careful with what's out there.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's hard to say. Well, there is a misconception, and yes, there is, but it's also justified because everything that we can see on the internet is potentially harmful. But in
So
yeah.
I was going to ask, that's one of my things. Where do you recommend, um, or what are some good places should people who are curious, other than, obviously check out Wellness with Sophie on Substack, but other places that you do recommend that you're like, when you're not sure and you are interested in your health and nutrition, particularly through detox, um, resources.
Well, to be honest, there is not much. There are some really good doctors to follow on Substack, like Lori Mabas. There is also, like, if you're interested in menopause, and she's an obgyn. Her name is Dr. Scholl, I believe. There is also Dr. Sarah Redondo from Spain, who talks more like about nutrition in general, not necessarily detox. So that's the people I tend to follow on Substack, who talk about health and sometimes nutrition as well. But in terms of detox, I haven't found anyone.
Then for people who are interested in working with you and things like that, can you share a little bit of your process?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's pretty easy. If people are already subscribed to me, they can send me an email, or if they have the Substack app, happy to be contacted via DMs. Yeah, if they can tell me what they're trying to solve, what their problem is, and I will see if I can help. Um, yeah, really, there is not many contraindications for what I do because I would personalize it. I personalize. I've never done exactly the same detox with
Mm.
every single client. Um, yeah, so unless unless you are not able to eat at all, um, well, that, I mean, really, if you're not able to eat, then I can't help you. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, we
Yeah.
adapt. We adapt to whatever conditions people have. There are things that I won't do at all, depending on the medical conditions. I always ask people as well to double check with their GP to make sure that their GP is comfortable with what we're gonna do.
All right. Thank you. So I have a new thing that I'm going to try out, which I like to do is the lightning round. So I'm going to ask just a couple of questions about like nutrition and particularly your work and your studies based on your experiences through your work and your studies. So, okay. What is your favorite snack?
But that depends on the time. At the moment, I love snacking on grapes,
Okay.
red grapes,
Then red grapes, that's important. Um and then take it how you will, favorite indulgence.
a good ice cream,
Nice. I know. That's so me. Now, it's the best advice you received and then the worst advice you received.
nutrition.
I'm s- I yeah, I was thinking like in nutrition or either while you were studying or even while you're doing your detox. Like I'm not
Mm.
entirely sure. This is totally new.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're my guinea pig on this.
Uh, I guess the best advice was to keep looking into the research because
Mm,
a topic is never set in stone. Like there is research coming out every day. So really keep being curious and informed with the latest science. So that's the best advice throughout my entire studies. The worst.
I feel like you'd get a lot.
Yeah, yeah, but
Or have you heard something from a client that they were advised something? They're like, "I heard if I just have a celery juice." You're like,
mm,
or, something
yes.
like that. Maybe that's another one.
Yeah. Yeah, I do hear that type of thing a lot. Or just eat less, just, count all your calories and have a big
Mm,
calorie deficit. That's the worst thing you can do. And
okay,
yes, they,
good
they,
to know.
calorie deficit in some portions is helpful, but you have to be careful not to go too far in there
Yeah,
because you need
it's
enough
it's
calories.
finding yeah, it's finding that balance, man. Um, well, that's all. Is there anything we haven't touched on that you want to discuss or share?
Think No, I think roughly we've talked about yeah, detox in general, and no, I really appreciate your time and taking me on the journey with you. I'm really hoping that you will you will heal and achieve what you want to achieve. Um,
Thank you.
so yeah, no, that's really awesome. I'm really
Thank
glad I met
you.
you.
Thank Yes, me too. Thank you for sharing more about I was really excited when you're like, "Well, I specialize in detox." I'm like, "Oh, that is great," because there's a lot of misconceptions. I think of Mean Girls where Regina does a detox or, everyone who does a detox juice cleanse. I'm like, "That's just sugar, isn't it?" So either you
Yeah,
break out or something's missing in it. Like you're not getting protein, you're not getting fiber. Unless you have a bunch of
absolutely.
apples in it. You know what I mean? Like, I was
Yeah,
like, something's off." Or you can't do
yeah,
it for a very long time, maybe like a day, but what does that
yeah.
do?
No, that does
So, I
nothing.
was like,
Yeah.
"That's great."
Yeah, no, that's a very good
Yeah.
point, and I
So
should have probably talked about that a bit more. But yeah, juice cleans are quite harmful because Well, first of all, you have a lot of nutrient deficiencies. We need protein every day, otherwise the body has to find protein somewhere else, and usually it finds proteins in the muscles, so you start losing muscle. So the weight you're gonna lose is mainly water and muscle, not fat. And then because juicing is not the same as blending, so it's not the same as smoothies, let's say. Um, it's completely stripped of all fiber, and which means that if your body releases toxins in your intestines, there is
Mm.
nothing to take it away in the feces. So it just gets reabsorbed. So basically, you have more chance of intoxicating yourself more by doing those juice cleanses
Know that.
than
Yeah.
detoxifying, because it gets reabsorbed and it just keeps on going. And also the other thing to know is that some toxins, not all of them, but some toxins are stored in fat cells in the adipocytes,
Mm.
and to be kept far away from vital organs like the brain, for instance. So it's to keep us safe that it's stored there. But if you start releasing those and you don't have fiber to take it away, push it away, then it can travel somewhere else, goes back into your bloodstream and can go and damage your brain or somewhere else vital. So it's completely pointless. It's completely against the physiology. So you absolutely need fiber, you absolutely need protein, you need everything. You know what I mean? To
Right.
detox. Yeah, it's not just oh, just have one tea and then it's gonna be all fine. No, you need to look at everything. um so yeah, those juice
Yeah.
cleanses are really make me cringe because they can be quite harmful. And also I've seen a recent recent study saying that just a 7-day, it is a water fast, 7-day water fast will wipe
Mm.
out pretty much like the majority of your gut microbiome. And in the study, it took at least 3 months with like normal food to rebuild the microbiome to where it was before the fast, which is really concerning because we need our gut microbiome. It's what helps support our immune system and everything. Like it's quite scary to see that it's wiped out like that. So we have to
Well,
be, I guess, we
thank
just have to be careful with
yeah.
fasts like that. Not not every fast is harmless or beneficial. Um,
Right.
and sometimes it could be beneficial for one thing, but then if the trade-off is really bad, maybe do a different way. Maybe intermittent fasting is better in that case, because it doesn't wipe out your gut microbiome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are different
I
ways of
know.
doing intermittent fasting as well. It's not it's
I
not for
bet.
everyone.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that to me, and I was like, "No, it doesn't seem like it's for me." But it's all these get fast, what is it? The get rich fast schemes, and it's the also get skinny fast schemes, and I'm like, "There is no way."
No,
It's a
it's not good.
billion-dollar industry for a reason because they play with our emotions, and none of it is right. Um, and yeah, you're right, like, it's just the right foods, and we all know it. It's just
Sleep, good
yeah.
hydration, movement, um, simple things.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and if anyone has questions, definitely you are linked in the description, and obviously a co-collaborator on this, but thank you so much for your time,
Thank you
and
so much,
yeah,
Tara. I really enjoyed it.
merci beaucoup, and everyone stay healthy.
Merci. Bye.